So Levy could be like 110, Tammy, Kepa, and maybe we'll have a deal. Things are heating up. Things are heating up for your boy Harry Kane, man. So look, this is where I am at with this thing right now. Harry Kane has to leave Tottenham, and the sooner the better. And Tottenham fans, you should have no complaints whatsoever for him wanting to leave, because keep it real, he is far too good for a club that isn't going to offer him trophies. That's just me keeping it three stacks. This deal, let's talk about the deal before we talk about Bruyne. If you look at this deal, Kepa as well as Tammy Abraham for Kane. As a Chelsea fan, complicated Chelsea fan, bro, 100%. Please, beg you, take Kepa and take Tammy. I beg you, please. Kepa and Tammy plus cash for Kane. That's great. If you're Tottenham, it's a bad deal. This is the football hot. And in here, we try and keep things as objective as possible. So I'm not going to be like, oh, no, that's a great... No. Obviously, me just cracking jokes. It's a great deal. Kepa's quality. Don't let the media hype fully. And Time is a pretty good striker. So yeah, two quality players plus catch is great. But if I'm being real and objective here, let's put the jokes aside, because let's talk real now. It's a bad deal for Tottenham. If you're Tottenham, my thing is this, is that Kepa, Tammy, and a lot of cash. So let's say it's 150. If I'm Levy, I'm asking for 100 or 110 plus those two players. Which may seem crazy for Chelsea, because I think Chelsea are probably thinking that, okay, we'll give you these two players, 60, 70 mil. If you Levy, like, if you want to make a deal, 100, 110, because you know you're up on Abramovich, give us those two players as well. So Levy could be like 110, Tammy, Kepa, and maybe we'll have a deal. So if we're looking at this right now for Harry Kane, because see, this is where things get complicated, and I'll give my viewpoints on this. Rivalries. Chelsea and Tottenham have a very, very deep rivalry. I told you, part of my misgivings of being like this full-on Chelsea fans, because I was on a train one time after a Chelsea game, and a group of Chelsea fans were singing about gassing Jews, because of course, there are rivalries with Tottenham. Brainless people, like they haven't evolved yet. So the optics of Harry Kane going to Chelsea from Tottenham, I can understand how that would be messed up for Harry Kane, specifically with just the history that Tottenham and Chelsea have. But if you're now going into deeper right now, and I think that's because, see, I didn't look at this angle, because I said, wait a minute, there's Barcelona, who knows what's going to happen with Benzema and Real Madrid, who knows what will happen with Lewandowski and Bayern. Why would you want to stay in England and so forth? Move forth, because you're good enough to play for any of the top clubs. But then I missed this angle, which is that family. There's some people because you will have to have that conversation with your family and say, guys, would you be willing to move countries? And what if for your wife or your family said, no, we like it here. This school works for us here and so forth, and we're just not ready to take that big a move. I think that's the same thing that's happening with Messi, where his family was like, nah, we're good here. And I think that when it comes to football and so forth, family first. Your family has to come first, unless you are in a situation that's untenable. Unless it's such a difficult situation and so forth, specifically in the country, now you need to move. Or if, let's say, what has been offered to you in another country is amazing, so you now have to maybe reach a middle ground which says, all right, I've got to take this Barcelona move. But you know what? You guys can still stay here. I'll go back and forth. I think that's what sort of Benitez did. Because I think Benitez's family loved Liverpool so much that he still, when he took the Inter Milan job or any of these jobs, his family still kept in Liverpool, so he had to now do back and forth. But maybe Harry Kane's people are not willing to do back and forth. So it's all dependent there. So I can understand the whole thing of staying in England. And preferably, he may say London. But again, if you're looking at London, there's only one possibility. Arsenal is off the freaking table. So even if Arsenal are doing really well, that's too deep a rival to go towards the ball. So they say, what's up? But I think for Chelsea, it is a rival. Chelsea could really do it, because let's even look at this from the Chelsea point of view. Chelsea need a striker. Like, people ask me, okay, if you could just choose one player that Chelsea could get, yeah, I'd like a creative player. I would like a right or left-sided attacking winger inside forward, like an Us or something. I would like a left back who could actually cross and is good at bringing the ball forward. But if I had to choose one, finisher, Chelsea just need a pure, natural, cold-blooded finisher, and I think Harry Kane would be sweet and quality for what Chelsea want to do. But I think if we're being realistic here, now, okay, let's talk about this now. Let's talk about the Man City thing. So this is obviously the interview he gave with Gary Neville on his Overlap program. And he talked about how he is a great admirer of De Bruyne. And people being reactionary will now take that as saying, oh, he's a great admirer of De Bruyne, which means that he wants to come to Man City, so therefore this... No, he just likes De Bruyne as a player. That has nothing with him making a decision which would not lead him to joining Man City. So I think really the big thing now is the conversation he now has with Daniel Levy. Because I think Harry Kane knows that. I think even what he said in the interview is, I've never said I was going to stay at Tottenham for my whole career. That was never the case. And he also would have said that, look, I want to win trophies. I don't want to be sitting at home watching the Champions League final, watching the Champions League semi-final. I want to be playing in a Champions League final, in a Champions League semi-final, and so forth. Like, the only Champions League final I played in, I shouldn't have even played in African final because I was not fully fit. So I have to, and Tottenham simply are not in a position that can promise me numerous trips yet. You see, for Tottenham, Levy is going to try and keep a hold of him, and if it's losing, it's going to have to be for a lot of money. And I don't know what Levy can say to convince Harry Kane. I just don't know what he will say. I don't know what manager he can come up with or how he's going to invest money. I think for Harry Kane, he's realized that no, this isn't working, and I don't know how well my name is going to be hot for. Because what if I get bamboozled, I say, for another season, and I have a really bad season and so forth, and then I'll go off the radar, and now guys now call off on me, and now they now fulfill their striker roles. Okay, United get their striker, City get their striker, Chelsea get their striker, so therefore I'm now stuck here. So, which is why people say, if there is a very specific time to leave, which is why this summer is very key, because United do have Cavani, but he's old, so they're going to have him for like a few more years or so, so they do need like a striker for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Man City, Aguero is gone. They need a kind of striker. So, but the issue with City is does Harry Kane represent the kind of striker that Pep wants? Pep likes to play a false nine and likes his strikers to be very modern and very mobile. So it's a very particular kind of frontman that he wants. Sometimes he doesn't even play a freaking striker. Chelsea need a striker. They have made no comments about it, and hence why it makes sense why they've been the first out of the gate to make this bit of like, no. We want this. We want a striker. We want to say what's up. Realistically speaking, United just makes the most sense because Manchester's just up north. It's not that big a trip. It's not a rival. And I think Harry Kane, even if I don't think that should be that big of an issue, I think for Harry Kane, he wouldn't want to go to a rival just out of respect of Tottenham fans. So United or City team is most likely, but I just don't see... Maybe I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below. I just don't see him fitting into what Pep wants. That's what I don't see him fitting into what Pep wants, particularly speaking. What I think will happen, look, I'll keep things updated day to day and so forth. I want to know, maybe you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think will happen this summer? Do you think he will leave or not? Something tells me, because Levy is a very, very tough cookie to crack. And I'm not sure, specifically in a pandemic, he is not going to listen to that Chelsea deal. It's not going to happen, unless they do, give us those toast plus 100 and 110, which is crazy. But he's going to ask for a lot more than whatever cash that they're adding on. So he's not going to be like, those are 2 players plus cash. Okay, that's great. Take Kane. No. If 150 is that number, who has the money? Who has the money to pay it? Who is willing to pay it? 150 is crazy, but it's into this market. Neymar messed everything up. Like once that Neymar deal happened, it's caused a knock-on effect for everything to be bumped up. So don't really look at that number as, that's how much they're worth. That number is what the market is saying. You just have to go with what the market is saying. The market just got completely upturned and turned on its head based on the Neymar deal, which had a ripple effect onto everyone. Look at how much freaking Coutinho got paid for. How the heck is Coutinho worth more than a 5 cupboard? And he went for over 100 mil. See, this is difficult. I don't believe Kane is going to leave this summer, but I feel that he has to leave. Because Levy is not going to allow Kane to go for 1 kobo less than 150. He's not going to allow that to happen. Okay, you want to leave this guy, this massive asset? Because remember, Levy, he's a freaking businessman. He was front and center and wanted to join the Super League, so he's all about the freaking money. Remember, this guy did not give Fortuna anything to freaking spend after what he did to him. Levy, this guy does not have Tottenham's football's interest high on the list. It is business. He even said it in the whole All or Nothing documentary that, it's Bruyne. Run the business, man. I know how football things are, but I gotta hook up my business. I gotta get no money, gotta get no pound. I gotta get no pounds. So I don't think Kane leaves this summer, because I'm not sure anybody will front the cash that Levy will want. Levy's not going to budge. So correct me if I'm wrong. See, if somebody comes up with 150, then there's a chance. I just don't know whether there's anybody who either has and is willing to put forth that 150. And if he puts forth that 150 for Tottenham moving forward, which manager receives that 150? And how's that 150 spent? Because remember the Bale deal, when Bale got sold for all the was it like 80 or 90? And then they bought all these players. I think like Chadley was there. I think Dembele was there. Eriksen was there. All these players. And it was like, I don't really know what was pop up and nothing. Was it the last boss that had all that money? So yeah, look, just to end it, if I'm advising Harry Kane, I'm in his corner and so forth, I'll say Harry Kane, do everything in your power to leave. And if you go to leave, you just say that, for my career, I have given Tottenham everything. And Kane has given Tottenham everything. So here's what, if you're a sports fan, you cannot be angry at Kane. You can't. Because if you're a sports fan, you're like, look at the numbers this guy has been putting up. Look at how consistent his goal scoring has been. And there simply hasn't been the team. There simply hasn't been the defense. And there simply hasn't been the support structure that has helped to go hand in hand with the amount of goals that he's supplying. A guy that is consistently high on the scoring charts surely should be part of a team that can at least give you a trophy. At least sign. I mean, look how many goals and assists that he got this season, and these guys are not even sniff top 4. Is that all on Mourinho? Or is that because the other players are not chipping in and the defense is trash and the defense can't hold the freaking lead? So if you're Kane, you have to move, but it's like, I'm going to front that cash. Guys, comments below. Tell me what you think. Let's have it back and forth. How do you think this is all going to fall down? Chelsea need a striker. They need a striker. They need a striker to get that treble. They need a striker to get that treble, man. Comments below. Like the vid and remember to subscribe. One love. Don't forget to click the link in the description box below to join my Euro 2020 Fantasy League. Let's ride.